Despite their ideological differences, Turkey and Saudi Arabia are allegedly forming a united front to remove Syrian President Bashar al-Assad from power amid a senior Turkish opposition leader's claim that Turkey has an immediate plan to launch a military incursion into Syria before upcoming elections in the country. Main opposition Republican People's Party, CHP, Deputy Chairman Gürsel Tekin claimed that the ruling Justice and Development Party, AK Party, government will send Turkish ground forces to the north of Syria within 1 or 2 days, Daily Taraf reported on Thursday. Tekin said he obtained the critical information from a reliable source, assumed to be in the military, about the plans for intervention in Syria. He implied that Turkey would set up a buffer zone, which it has previously pressed for in Syria. However, Tekin backtracked from his statement on Friday and said that he was figuratively speaking and he only wanted to point out that Turkey plans to enter Syria soon, not literally within 2 days. Tekin claimed that the ruling party is worried about the decline in support before the June 7 general election and it could drag Turkey into a quagmire in Syria to postpone the elections in order to prolong its political career. In the meantime, Turkey and Saudi Arabia have converged on an aggressive new strategy to bring down Assad, the Associated Press reported late Thursday, adding that the deal is provoking concern in the U.S., which does not want rebel groups, including the al-Qaeda-linked Nusra Front, uniting to topple Assad. Tekin demanded an answer to the military incursion allegations from Prime Minister Ahmet Davutoglu or Foreign Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu. On Friday, Foreign Ministry spokesman Tanju Bilgic denied the allegation of Turkey's immediate plan to launch a ground troop offensive into Syria to topple Assad, saying that 2 days passed and there has still not been a military incursion into Syria. Speaking to the press, Bilgic reiterated Turkey's long-standing policy of supporting the removal of Assad from power. Bilgic said that Saudi Arabia and Turkey's policies on Syria are similar and Turkey cooperates with this country, as well as the UK, the US and other allies. Bilgic also said that Turkey views the Syria-based insurgent group al-Nusra Front as a terrorist organization. Turkey has been accused of providing military aid to the Nusra Front at the beginning of the Syrian civil war, as the country made the removal of Assad from power its priority and provided help to the various Syrian opposition groups. The U.S. has been against providing help to organizations such as the Nusra Front and Washington reiterates at every chance that the priority should be on defeating the terrorist threat of the Islamic State in Iraq and the Levant, ISIL, in Syria. Speaking to the members of Diplomacy Correspondents Association, DMD, last week, U.S. Ambassador to Turkey John Bass said that ISIL has managed to be even more extreme than Nusra, adding that only 2 years ago, this would have surprised many analysts. The fact that we are dealing with an even more extreme terrorist organization does not mean that we are not still opposed to the practice and behavior of Nusra, which is affiliated with al-Qaeda and which we still see very much as a foreign terrorist organization and which we believe cannot have a future in Syrian politics or in government, Bass said. CHP Adana deputy and veteran diplomat Faruk Lolo told Today's Zaman on Friday that the new and invigorated partnership between Turkey and Saudi Arabia rests on a change of mind by the Saudis, as the two countries always wanted and still aim to remove Assad from power. Lolo said that the change in the Saudi mindset is due to the fact that the new king appears to have decided to prioritize curbing Iranian influence in the region at whatever the cost, as was seen in the Saudi military intervention in Yemen and now the decision to support jihadists in Syria. The Turkish-Saudi cooperation in extending arms and financial support to the rebels fighting Assad portends deeper and protracted violence in Syria. Diplomatic efforts will again be pushed to the back burner on the deceptive and mistaken assessment that rebel forces are making lasting gains against Assad and that Assad is about to go. Turkey and Saudi Arabia have put the military option before the diplomatic, a move that will only prolong and deepen the sufferings of the Syrian people. The move will also open new space for ISIL and compel Iran to take countermeasures. All this will make things much worse in Syria and the region than what we are faced with now, said Lulu. The US along with Europe and Russia must push the diplomatic process forward with vigor and decisiveness, he added. Saudi Arabia and Turkey differ in opinion about the Muslim Brotherhood, MB. Saudi Arabia has classified the MB as a terrorist organization, along with Egypt, while Turkey supports the MB. Speaking to today's Zaman, Sinan Ulgen, a former Turkish diplomat who chairs the Istanbul-based think tank Center for Economics and Foreign Policy Studies, EDM, pointed out that Turkey and Saudi Arabia were aligned together against the Assad regime at the beginning of the Syrian crisis, but the differences about who is moderate and who is extreme among the Syrian opposition groups have caused a separation between Turkey and Saudi Arabia. Ulgen said that he finds the allegations of a military incursion into Syria speculative, adding that such a decision will neither be a right one nor an easy one. I don't think a military incursion into Syria will bring points to the Turkish government. There is no direct security risk for Turkey from Syria and Turkish people will not support a military intervention. You cannot do it unilaterally, without agreeing with the US or without getting a UN Security Council resolution for an intervention. A unilateral action will not be right, said Ulgen. He pointed out that Turkey so far refrained from a unilateral intervention into Syria without support from Washington, and this policy has not changed, since the same risks are present. Turkey and Saudi Arabia agreed to cooperate to remove Assad from power in early March when Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan flew to Riyadh to meet Saudi Arabia's recently crowned King Salman, the AP reported. Relations had been tense between Erdogan and the late King Abdullah due to Erdogan's staunch support of the MB. Associate Professor of International Relations at FETA University Salim Savazcenk told today's Zaman that a military incursion into Syria would be wrong, because it will mean launching a war against the countries supporting the Assad regime, including Russia, Iran, and China. Cenk suggested that Turkey should leave its dream of removing Assad from power aside and work with him to reach a ceasefire agreement that protects minorities such as Sunni Arabs and Kurds. Recalling that the US had notified Assad before launching military strikes against ISIL last year, Cenk said that it means that the US recognizes the Syrian regime's legitimacy in a way. Riyadh needs Ankara due to Turkey's long border with Syria, and Turkey cannot go against Assad unilaterally without getting the support of an Arab country like Saudi Arabia. The Saudis can influence the different factions fighting in Syria, particularly with their financial power. With Syrian opposition forces gaining victories against ISIL in the northern province of Idlib, it is viewed reasonable that at some point Turkey-Saudi Arabia cooperation, along with Qatar's assistance, will enable the rebels to topple Assad. The real question for many observers will be what happens next if the plan to topple Assad succeeds. Reportedly, Saudi Arabia wants to unite most of Syria's opposition groups and is organizing a gathering in mid-June to this end. Meanwhile, the foreign ministers of Turkey and Qatar are meeting to discuss Syria and other regional issues soon. Avulu is expected to meet with Qatari Foreign Minister Khalid al-Attiyah in Ankara on Saturday.